what's up, YouTube? It's Doofy out here back with another video. And my bad for the background noise, you know. That's my fan, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, ignore that, you know. But anyways, quick question. What does the NFL, the NBA, the WWE, and the AEW have in common? They all have some sort of trading system. Now, I know WWE and AEW doesn't really have like a trading agreement, but the reason why I mention them here is because wrestlers do flip in between companies like back and forth. So yeah, that's why I mentioned them here. Now, I was gonna go over what trade means in sports terms, but I'm pretty sure 99.9% of y'all already know what that means, so I'm not even gonna waste my time with that. And y'all are just gonna skip it anyway, so there's no point. Okay, now hear me out for a second, hear me out. What if Marvel and DC signed an agreement to where they can exchange characters back and forth? Bro, you can't tell me that joint wouldn't break the internet, fam. Like, I'm already imagining what would happen if DC traded Superman for Spider-Man, bro. I'm telling you, bro. That joint would melt the internet in seconds, bro. I'm talking about quicker than you getting a job. Oops, my fault. My fault. I forgot we don't curse on here. My fault. So for today's video, I asked Reddit, more specifically the Marvel subreddit, because for some reason, they wouldn't allow me to post this in the DC subreddit, but I asked the Marvel subreddit, who would you trade between Marvel and DC? Now, bro, this post got over 500 comments, bro. So, unfortunately, I can't, like, read all of these in this video because the video will be kind of long if I do. So, yeah. But, Jed, I'm not gonna lie, bro. We're going to get moving, bro, because the intro getting too long. So, cue the music! Anyways, with this first trade, this user said he would send Green Lantern to Marvel and Blade to DC. Now, you can pause and read this comment, but for those of you who are too lazy to do that, I'm gonna pretty much sum it up here. He's basically saying if Green Lantern goes to Marvel, it would provide Marvel with epic, like, space stories, you know what I'm saying? Which I agree with. And the reason why they're switching Blade to DC is because they feel like DC handles, like, their supernatural characters better than Marvel. Now, I'm not gonna hold you, bro. This is a solid trade, you know? So with this next trade, Rocket Boy 1313 said he would send the Inhumans to DC and send the entire Shazam and Captain Marvel mythos to Marvel. Now, this trade is funny because, like, half the comment section on that post said they would send Shazam to Marvel just because his name was originally Captain Marvel. Now, based off that logic, bro, I can't blame you, bro. That name's on an imposter, bro. He need to get his name back, dog. But anyways, this comment is saying that he would switch the Inhumans to DC because, like, they're redundant because of the Turtles and X-Men, and they wouldn't have that problem in DC. And as for sending the Shazam mythos to Marvel, he's pretty much just picking up lower ranked DC characters to send to Marvel. So, yeah, I guess that's a fair trade, you know? Yeah, though, bro, all I'm saying is expect to see a few more comments of people saying they would send Shazam to Marvel just because his name is Captain Marvel. Now, for this next trade, Blacker Doom said he's sending Plastic Man to Marvel and Slapstick to DC. Now, for those of you who don't know who Slapstick is, he's pretty much a goofy, like, Toon Force type character that was introduced the same year as Carnage, so yeah, the more you know, I guess. But Doom said he believes that Plastic Man's villain to hero story will be more appreciated in Marvel. I almost said DC there. He also said he'll be an A-lister in Marvel. Now with Slapstick, he did say that he would fit more with DC's wacky ceiling. And I'm not gonna hold you, bro. Slapstick do look like a Teen Titans Go villain, so he do got a point here. Now this next trade is coming from Lower Excuses 8693. He pretty much said he would trade Spider-Man and Static Shock. He was saying I can't speak. He was saying Spider-Man to DC and Static Shock to Marvel. Now, off rip, bro, I gotta say, trading away Marvel's biggest draw is crazy, bro. That is absolutely insane. But anyways, he said the reason why he would send Spidey to DC is because he wouldn't actually suffer if he was in DC. Which y'all already know I agree with, bro, because, like, I made a video like a few years back saying, like, the Zeb Wells, I believe his name is, like, the Zeb Wells runs the Spider-Man comics isn't doing his character justice, bro. Because, like, I'll be mad too if I lost my girl to a dude named Paul and bro look like this. Like, hell no. But he did also say he would send Static to Marvel just so he can get used. Because he was not only supposed to be in Injustice 2, but he was also supposed to be in Multiverses too, bro. So, like, yeah, I kind of agree with this. Now, this next trade is coming from a Grudge Iron Angel. I hope I pronounced that right because I'm tired of butchering names. But yeah, it's coming from that guy. And he said he would send Starfire to Marvel and Thor to DC. I guess he threw Shazam in the trade too. But he believes that Marvel has really cool cosmic stuff, which I totally agree with because y'all already know who. But he says Marvel has really cool cosmic stuff, and it would be really cool to have her and her race not have to compete with Kryptonians, which I agree with, you know? And yes, for those of you who don't know, he's not lying when he says DC has their own version of Thor. But he believes that Marvel's story would fit better with DC, and that it will give Wonder Woman her own world's finest team up. Which a Wonder Woman and Thor team would go crazy, bro. That's all I'm saying. Now, this next trade coming from Ram, not too shabby. Now, this is a kind of crazy trade, but at the same time, it's kind of a 50-50 trade. but he said he would trade Iron Man and Batman so he could see how they dominate the other universe. Now, this is the first trade where I say, bro, on everybody's soul, bro, we are not sending Batman to Marvel, bro. He's staying home to DC, you know what I'm saying? No Glazers, you know what I'm saying? Now, for this next trade, JP Snicker said Lobo feels like a Marvel character, so he would send Lobo to Marvel, and he would send Ghost Rider to DC for balance. Now, the reason why Lobo does feel like a Marvel character is because, ironically, bro, he was made as a parody of Wolverine, so that's kind of why he feels like a Marvel character. And Ghost Rider on the Justice League Dark, that's just a need at this point, bro. Like, that's a need, man. Alright, so for this next trade, JWP, the Trilogy 1, said he would send Joker to Marvel just so he can terrorize Ish in that universe. And he would send Doctor Doom to DC just so he can mess with Superman. Now, 9 times out of 10, if you send Joker to Marvel, he's getting raped by almost all of the street tier characters. But best believe, bro, they mom's gonna be cooked, bro. That's all I'm gonna say. And Doom versus Superman literally just gave me a poll out there. He also said he would swap Batman and Spider-Man's rogue gallery so they can have like a, you know what I'm saying? Mushroom_hero said Blue Beetle will fit right in with the young Marvel crowd. And he said he would trade him for Miles Morales. Not so both companies will have a Spider-Man. Which I ain't gonna lie, that would be the funniest idea ever, bro. Like, just imagine like Marvel and DC going band for band. And like, Marvel be like, well, we have Spider-Man. And then DC just go like, y'all don't got no black Spider-Man though. What's wrong with you, bro? Campin' Organium said he would send Hulk to DC and Raven to Marvel. Now, once again, you can pause and read this, but long story short, he pretty much said he would love to see Hulk fight a lot of DC's heavy hitters, like Superman, Shazam, Wonder Woman, Flash, all of them. As for Raven, he believes that she would fit right in with the Midnight Suns or like the Young Avengers, and she could have great storylines with Doctor Strange, Mephisto, Dormammu, all of them. Speaking of Mephisto, we have yet another Shazam, aka Captain Marvel trade. This time coming from Taco Torture. Cool name, by the way. But he said he would send Shazam to Marvel just so he could be Zeus's weapon to fight other gods like Hercules. He also said he would send Mephisto the other way just so he could do his little thing where he like makes deals with other characters, you know? And he could also have like a frenemy rivalry with John Constantine. And also a fan section with Detective Chip. I gotta look up what that word means. And to also be a rival of Neuron. Now this next trade, I ain't gonna lie, this is pretty interesting. But this is coming from Correct. You know, I'm not going to try to pronounce that last name because I'm going to butcher it. So I'm going to refer to this user as Correct48. But he said he would send Spidey to DC just because he feels like he deserves, like, appreciative populace for a while. And he will actually trade an entire group for him. And no, as you can clearly see, it's not the Justice League. But he said he will send Will Magnus and the Metal Man over to Marvel just so they could be a part of that science part of Marvel, you know? Now, I ain't going to hold you, bruh. I didn't even know who the Metal Man Warrior until I started making this video yesterday, bro. I ain't gonna lie though, they look like pretty dope characters. Fun Deserve said he'll give Adam Warlock to DC because he gives me the whole mythological deity vibes that most DC heroes have, which I agree with. In exchange, he said he'll send Constantine to Marvel just so he could butt heads with Doctor Strange, which I ain't gonna lie would be a dope idea because I like both Constantine and Strange, bro. Bro, we lost the plot, bro. Nah. Before I say anything, bro, I like to say, do not send any hate comments or harass this user, bro. This is all for, like, craps and giggles, bro. Like, this is all for fun. But, like, I get Falcon is, like, the new Captain America and all, but, like, in what universe is he worth trading for Superman? Like, no. Alright, so Nox Valet said he would trade Shazam for Gladiator. And by the way, if my voice sounded a little different, you know, I just woke up like 30 minutes ago. You know, it's the next day, you know. So yes, this video is getting recorded in a 2-day span. What you gonna do about it? Anyways, Masoba said he would send Vixen and Static Shock to the Marvel Universe just because he feels like, or they feel like, their abilities fit the Marvel Universe more. They also going to say that Static Shock would be like the Spider-Man of Philadelphia, or like Vixen would like be a perfect fit for Wakanda, which I agree with because she has like, you know, tiger abilities. I believe it's tiger abilities, I don't know. And they said they will send Daredevil and Blade to DC in exchange, just because they feel like their abilities and powers fit more with the DC universe, which I agree with. Alright, so with this next trade, Electro side branding, I don't know. But yeah, that user said, I'll probably swap Punisher and Batman to see how they would turn out. Now, as much as I like to say that Punisher is just a guy with a gun, I kind of do believe that him in Gotham City would be pretty interesting. Like, if you just drop him square in Gotham City, bro. Like, I see though, like, let me know down in the comments down below. Like, if you drop Punisher down in Gotham City, I'm talking about like Square Center, you think he cleaning that joint out? Put it in the comments. Now, as for that first comment though, bro, you got all my attention, my bad. Alright, so with this next trade, Riola and Rescue, I'm not gonna pronounce that last name, but Yodeling said, blockbuster trade. Marvel trades away Peter Parker and Jubilee for Dr. Manhattan question and the 3rd first-round draft picks. Hey man, all I gotta say for this trade, bro, is like, if this trade was actually real and like this trade actually happened, bro, like I'm convinced this stuff will be worse than the Luka trade, bro. And I don't even watch basketball, bro, but that jump was massive, dude. Hey, you wanna know what else is next? Alright, True Diseaser 007 said he wants Deadman in the MCU so bad. I'm not gonna lie, Deadman does feel like an MCU character. As for the top comment, IO_Lip8, I think I said that right. He said he would trade Deadman for Daredevil, which kind of has a ring to it, not gonna lie. We have yet another trade, this time coming from Power Middle Pizza, who said Hawkman and Black Knight would fit well in each other's universe, which I agree with. And also, bro, quick question, like, I've been living for like 17 years, and I still don't know what this dude Hawkman does, fam. Like, I always see him in like these 70 parody Justice League cartoons, but I just don't get the purpose of him, you know? I swear, bro, he's like one of those kids who just does nothing but sit in the back of the classroom, like, that's it. Alright, so Snorky Capone 23 said he would send Reverse Flash and the Speed Force to Marvel in exchange for the Phoenix Force to DC, just to see how like both universes deal with like the new threats, you know? At least Marvel will have a Flash though. Multiple. Alright, so this user, I know I'm not gonna pronounce his name, but he said he would send Etrigan to Marvel and Ghost Rider to DC. Which I ain't gonna lie, that's a fair trade, you know? I like that trade, you know what I'm saying? Alright, so for the last and final trade, this Epic Avenger SMM5 said he would trade Shazam and Kang. Oh my god. But they said Kang will fit more with DC's multiversal stories, and he would be a really cool Booster Gold villain, which I don't know too much about Booster Gold, so you guys gonna have to let me know about that. And as for Shazam, just like a lot of people said, he should get his name back. I 100% agree with this. It should not be on that lame ass Karen. But like the other ones, you can pause and read this if you want to. Now, I'm not gonna lie, bro, I had a lot of fun making this video. You know, of course I can't get to all of them because like it had 500 freaking comments on the post. You know, I did not expect that, but hey though, y'all trying to see a part 2? Hey, put it in the comments down below. But yeah though, that's all I gotta say. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.